Hey, how you guys doing? Welcome back to another episode of Thin and the Herd. Um, I will be discussing individuals that came up the hard way and still became successful, and they're in the news at the present time. And because last Wednesday, we had someone that came in. And this person, I really knew this person needed counseling. All right, and I'm not saying that like a clinical thing. Sometimes people just need somebody to talk to and express themselves to. This person have been, I can't even say battling demons, but have been dealing with personal demons and probably other stuff. So it touched my heart because it's somebody that I have like prayed with, like in right in front of a church because she wouldn't come in. But she wanted to talk, and at first I was just, I was just listening, but I was really glad um, that she honored me to feel comfortable. So so I was talking with her, and I knew that was important. And I didn't want to interrupt because she talks fast. Like a lot of people that's in denial, they talk fast and they skate around whatever their situation is. So I didn't get an opportunity to go live. So I'm gonna do that right now because I gave my word. I said the next time I will get the live stream set up. And then if somebody comes in and they want to talk or they have an issue or need to be heard, I would just keep talking with them because if you actually come by here, you're going to get attention, because that's what it's about. It's about helping people. So it's very the temperature is kind of warm out here, so I wanted to get straight. And anyway, I hope you can see me okay. So, going live. Welcome back to Thin and the Herd. I am DJ Slam, and one of the songs that I did was called Big Daddy. And somebody that knew me when I was in Philadelphia for that brief period of time, riding public transportation, carrying around my artwork, uh, came through. And that was really great because briefly, I've been in Chicago, I've been in Philadelphia, I've been in Detroit, Oklahoma, which is where my father's from. Um, Philadelphia is it's very special. Shoot, I mean, it's one of the oldest, if not the oldest. I guess New York is probably the oldest, but let me tell you about Philadelphia people, the black people in Philadelphia. They are very determined. They are very serious. Now, this has all been my experience, and I've heard other people say the same thing. Still, all I can do is give my experience. Um, I'll put it this way: it's from I'm a big observer. If you start something or enterprise um, with somebody from Philadelphia, if they say they're gonna ride with you, they are going to ride with you. See you later, Trigger.
All right.
Bye. So that's really great. There's something unique about every state that I've collaborated with people. But that was really special. So something just happened, and it's okay to talk about this. I'm a certified family crisis counselor. Um, okay, I'm aware of this. If you're the type of person where people listen to you, or you carry yourself in a certain way that is positive, or you have integrity, odds are there's going to be more than one person or more than a few people that actually admire you and look up to you. Now, that does not mean that they will tell you, communicate, or even treat you right. That little demon of envy, and sometimes I call it a member of the control family of toxic thoughts that can lead to toxic speech or toxic behavior. Sometimes somebody that looks up to you and admires you will mess with you, will bother you. Now, this is fairly normal with children, because you have to understand children are still trying to process their emotions. And all of us has a adult child within us, because we went through that period of time where emotions were not clear, and many emotions remain unclear. That's a big reason, a big part of why I'm doing this, because when you are faced with circumstances that are difficult, traumatic, or frightening, it's natural to revert back to your childhood from what you learned. Okay? So I'm never here to judge. It's a matter of just getting an understanding. And so I try to be very upfront with my emotions, my fears, the things that make me uncomfortable. And a part of my therapy is sharing what I have learned. So what had just happened, and for the first time, I saw it coming. All of us that come here, we come because we need some help. And some of us are in real bad shape. And sometimes you just need some advice. And some people that come through, they want to know how to get Section 8. They want to know how to get better services with doctors, with clinics. And sometimes it's just a matter of communication. You know, I'm not saying all the time. I'm not even saying the majority of the time. Sometimes we will just experience a failure to communicate, or whoever we are attempting to communicate is failing to communicate. The big thorn in your side, the big annoyance, and can lead somebody to just give up, is when someone in a position of authority, and the position is to help others, sometimes they will fail to communicate, you know. So someone that is a part of sending the herd crossed over the line. All right. When I first started my podcast, it was the day after Will Smith slapped, or he might have socked, you know. They not releasing the close-ups because I worked at ABC Disney on Prospect and Commonwealth. All of those cameras ran through their editors. They can zoom in, you can see all of the details. You know, they don't show us that, but that's the reality. So that slap might have been a sock. Now, I'm going to address what I know, what I believe, what I think, and then my theories. All totally different things. Editors know that what I'm about to say is true. Okay, so before I get into that, I want to talk about the feelings that I had that have been building up, and in my opinion, I've done a pretty good job because I'm actually a counselor. But counselors can go through crisis too, or experience trauma. The spiritual part of me gives credit and praise to my higher power, and I was led here where I learned so much. I was like saved, really, compassionate and wise ear can make all the difference in somebody's life, all of the difference. And if we inch toward each one teach one, or move toward attempting to be the type of person who will listen to someone without judging, using logic, using reasoning, or just listen. Sometimes the person that's talking to you, that's going through something, may get a grasp of a course of action just from talking to someone. So I had to talk to this wonderful person that offered, this is a professional, a healthcare professional. And I saw her and I said I wanted to talk to her. But really what happened was she saw that I needed to talk to somebody, and she asked me, said, would you like to go talk about it? And she don't say that all the time, but see, she had that sense, and she's went through things. So this is what happened. When I first started, I was already prepared. I'd already made my charts. And lo and behold, Jaguar Smith started spitting the real. Now let me give you my quick twist on that. This is just my theory. This is, I observe patterns in people, and I have enough experience that I can draw a conclusion that might be what happened. Now, this is what I could feel. I could feel that Jaguar Wright had made peace with the God of her understanding. After going through many things that, she has barely touched the surface of the things that she went through. But I can tell, and I know, she's been traumatized. Now, how I can relate to it, I was a bodyguard, a Christian by choice, because I studied almost every Western religion, and I studied with the Nation of Islam, and then I studied with the Muslims. Slight difference. I ended up marrying someone that was of Muslim faith, but she wasn't honest with me. But in the grand scheme of things, the knowledge that I learned about self-worth, self-respect, self-reliance in the black community, in the mosque, invaluable, absolutely invaluable. I actually studied with a person, African American, amazing woman. She was an airline stewardess, and she was just phenomenal. She was like such a counselor, but she wasn't a counselor by profession. she was one of the people that helped Tina Turner, and they were Buddhists. What I learned about meditating and chanting, invaluable. I wrote my own. Now, I said all that to say this. The cumulative experiences that I had from attempting to be around people who were smarter than me, more at peace than me, at least in appearance, more articulate, had a vocabulary, didn't have to swear every other word, okay? That rubbed off on me. Now, I had an edge because my father's incredible. My mother, an amazing housewife and host with a great sense of humor, great cook, and so is my dad. Um, I would love to give some examples, but just take my word for it. One other time, I'm going to talk about my special parents. I already had a foundation. Now, this part I'm very grateful for. I didn't just have two parents. I had five parents. My two sisters nurtured me, taught me how to behave like a gentleman, taught me how to treat a girl, how to respect a girl, taught me what is appropriate and not appropriate. But they didn't use those words. They just simply shared with me stuff that they didn't feel is cool. All right? And I'll give an example. I had a very close friend that I met through divine providence because I met him in California in a park. We both like music. His father and my father were best friends 38 years prior to me meeting his son. I mean, the odds. Okay, so in my opinion, everybody has an opinion. It doesn't mean that I'm right, but I have an opinion. I had an opinion about how a male should treat a woman, the respect, the leadership of courtesy. So at one point, he made a bet with somebody. We're at a convention, California Baptist State Youth Convention, shout out. And I was really shocked because I know as Christian leaders, we should be setting an example. Now, I was also young and impressionable. So what happened was, she admired the fact that I was respectful. I was incensed because I was emotional that my good friend and my brother would actually bet on a person, especially the person that was so nice. All right. So my sister, who was fairly quiet, like I said, I had five parents. Some people don't have one. My sister told me, and she was very careful, and she said it in a way like she knew what she was talking about. She said, it's not really right to date your best friend's ex. Okay. Now, silly me, you know, I'm young. I'm like, uh, that's not his ex. I didn't know what she was to him, you know, but that was a knee jerk um, reaction because I didn't even know that anybody could tell that I fancied her. I hadn't even admitted to myself. So anyway, these are mores that a family or close friends or a counselor or a hero, a leader, a coach implants on a daily basis in some type of way. Just an example of being a good person, being decent, not being indecent. Like Diddy. Okay? Um, so I brought these teachings because my sisters nurtured me and taught me. Then my brother. My brother was just the coolest. And so smart. An example, my brother taught me, I must have been maybe 14. I mean, he taught me a lot. I can write 2 books with all the stuff that my brother taught me. But he had said, well, see, he was really bothered by the assassination of JFK and Martin Luther King, especially Martin Luther King. And my brother just declared, he said, J. Edgar Hoover killed them. And he said, the bastard. And my brother didn't really like talk negatively, but he was and is, he's a passionate person and a smart person. He gave me my first periodicals that came from both the Nation of Islam and separately came from the Black Panthers. I'm like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I said all that to say this. I am the person I am today who can articulate a thought, know Black history, understand the psychology of how we were treated and the syndrome that we suffer from, and see the incredible intestinal fortitude that we still have flourished amongst the thorns of racism. Okay? We're incredible. We're incredible. And we ain't trying to control no other culture. We're not a threat. But you can't tell other people that, because some people want to have a reason to dislike you, to hold you down, to distract you, to discourage you, because they lack what you have, and you might not even see what you have, but it shines. Some of us walk into a room and the atmosphere changes. A lot of these people are not aware of it because many of these people that are very wise are very humble. So anyway, I had 5 parents, an incredible mother and father. My godfather, colonel in the Air Force, one of the deepest men alive. Listening to him and my father talk, man, that was like a whole semester in a university because these 2 men just amazing. My father's from Boley, Oklahoma. All right. Many of the residents in the Greenwood district of Tulsa, Oklahoma, came from Boley, Oklahoma. All right? So that's who we are. That's who I am. I want you to know you can draw upon the experiences of intelligent people, wise people, even smart alecky people that will say something that's deep, even if they say it in a ghetto way, whoever you have ran across that gave you a aha moment or said one of them things that make you go, okay? Draw that out of your computer, pull it together, and you will have real intelligence, which is far more vast than artificial intelligence. It's all in you. But it's like having a light switch and nobody told you where the light switch was. When it gets dark, if you don't know where the light switch is, let's just say they installed the light switch down by your ankles and behind a piece of furniture. If you don't know where the light switch is when it gets dark, you don't know how to turn on the light. But all you would have to do is know where the light switch is, and you can turn on the light and see the light. And everything you can see is light. Okay? What happened today? Hello.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Come in.
I have an appointment.
Oh, okay. It's not for therapy, right? Okay. You go out the door, go straight ahead that way.
Oh.
Yes. Be careful with that door.
Oh.
You know, you open one and the other one 3 seconds comes out and it's heavy. All right. Bye bye. Nice to see you. Wish he had came on camera. All right. Anyway, I have admiration for females, especially when they're nice, they're polite, and they're humble like that. Okay. So, I'm going to say God because that's what I know in my heart. But you can use other terminologies. God will give you diamonds in the backyard of your life, meaning wherever you're at. But if you don't look for it, if you don't expect to find it, you're not going to look for it. You don't look for it, you're not going to find it. But they're there. Gems of knowledge from people. And that's a part of the order of things. Okay? Trust me. Try it. In your mind, look for examples, people to give you wisdom, circumstances. Animals can do something and you get a revelation about life. So, what I did was, I created several charts because approximately 2 months before Christopher Wallace was assassinated, I saw him at the House of Blues. Somebody had told him about me. And when I came toward his table, he looked up at me. Somebody standing whispered something to him. And the person that whispered something to him went like that to me. I ignored it because I don't know who they are. I'm not going to invade nobody's space. I don't know who this guy is doing this. And maybe he was talking to somebody else behind me. I don't know. So I didn't pay it no mind. So I was just going to go right past his table and go toward the stage where Faith Evans was performing. She went on right after her opening act, which was Monica. I was in love with Monica. The young person that built her first website built my first website. So Biggie Smalls did not let me get past his table. All right. So just as I think I'm fair and clear, fair and clear. He reached out his arm like this. So I shook his hand and he said, "Sit down." Now that's kind of unusual for a celebrity to do it like that. That's kind of unusual. So my instincts told me, all right, the guy that whispered said something, but I still don't know what's going down, right? So I'm talking to him, I greeted him, and if I can demonstrate, he had about at least four guys sitting to his right, four guys sitting to his left. He's like in the center. He's leaning toward me, inviting me to sit down. All of these people in the back, all of these men, some people call them the goon squad. I didn't. I'm saying some people. They all went like this. But this was the expression. Everything was screaming, nigga, you better not sit down. Now, I'm this type of person. I'm intuitive enough to know where I don't want to be. And I don't have respect, this is me personally. I was a bodyguard myself. I don't have respect for people or entourage that would treat a fan bad. They didn't know if I was a fan or not, but wasn't too many people that wasn't fans of Biggie, right? So I'm like, you don't want me to sit here? I don't want to sit with you. So everything I'm doing now, the apex of why I started research to understand why were these two people shot. What happened? Who was Christopher Wallace? Who was Tupac Shakur? Who was he? Because the persona in the public, in any entertainment, it is a caricature. Now, different people have different degrees of how much their caricature is actually them. But it is a job to perform. Okay? Ice Cube didn't really act like the Ice Cube that we see on TV. Very studious. When he would come by the South Central Multi-Purpose Center, which is now proudly the Lillian Mobley Center, he wore glasses, spoke extremely intelligently, and had the biggest smile. See, now we see him smile now, but back then, in the public, you didn't really see Ice Cube smiling. All right. So at the very top of this particular chart, Christopher Wallace, Tupac Shakur. Okay. Now we get to the good stuff. Please don't get pissed off. Hear me out. Let me get to the finish. Tupac was an actor. Christopher Wallace was a wise person with a respect for spirituality. Both were extremely influenced by their mothers. Okay? Both of their mothers had a background of being with and working with very intelligent people. Christopher Wallace's mother was around a lot of academia. Stefan Shakur, Tupac's mother, was around and worked with the Black Panthers. Now, try to remember this. Many of the leaders and officers of the Black Panthers were doctors and lawyers. Black doctors and lawyers. Okay? So now we got two extremely talented individuals who come from a background, one of university and Christianity, the other Black Panthers, and very successful people. I'm talking about Tupac Shakur. He had a lot of advantages. Christopher Wallace had the benefit of having been out of the country on vacations. And a lot of black people have never been out of the United States. A lot of black people born in the United States have not been outside of the United States. But these two talented individuals had experiences beyond America KKK. All right? Makes a difference. I keep trying to adjust this. Okay, all right, okay. But as long as you hear me. So anyway, this person who's a part of Thinning the Herd, and this person, this is not this person's fault, but this is a part of the truth. He tried to drop a hint, not because it was important, really probably because he wanted my attention more than anything. And he might not even realize that. Okay, that's my theory. I can't read nobody's mind. But also, that's why I don't hold him in contempt. He tried to tell me. At first, he was dropping hints. People have to drop hints when they really don't have any grounds to stand on to justify their actions. He was trying to drop a hint that I'm not supposed to put this board up here. I created this particular podcast, the concept. I outlined how it's going to go. I shared that outline with a few people. If you are homeless, you can still achieve. Okay? It's very simple. So I got pissed off. This is what I said. Anybody that knows me, they almost never, ever hear me say any profanity because I'm proud of having a vocabulary. I don't want to help oppressors to oppress us by my speech and language. But this person needed to hear the facts. If I respect you, I'm going to tell you the truth about yourself in the best way I can. If I don't respect you that much or hold you in high esteem, I'm going to ignore you. And usually it'll blow over. All will be good after a little while. Now, I knew I was supposed to bring this board today. I just knew it. So I did. So I didn't need nobody trying to throw some shade on how I began this whole podcast. Now, this is how it relates to you. I want you to relate to this. As soon as you're about to have a breakthrough in your life, there's going to be elements and energies that are going to swoop in on you. And normally they don't swoop like one problem at a time or one challenge at a time. It's normally a flock. That's what I'm going through. But I expect it. I want you to expect it. Know that it's a sign that there's a good, positive breakthrough about to happen in your life when all of a sudden you get those problems. So now, I'm going to go over this. This individual was very talented, and he was going to be a regular on this show. This individual came up the hard way, didn't have much, very talented. They were planning a whole new show. West Coast, East Coast. The strategy of the powers that be were to divide and conquer. Pit the East Coast against the West Coast. Tupac was really from the East Coast. So was Biggie. When Christopher Wallace stretched out his hand to shake my hand, it was because he was getting ready to move to California and somebody told him that I was the person to talk to. Okay? People that wanted to see people in the hood, in the bricks, thinking people, business-minded people, community-thinking people. They knew a celebrity could help bring peace to the streets because they knew we was being used. People make money when we get shot, go to the hospital, or get incarcerated, or die. Not us. No. It had to stop. There are powers that be that didn't want these to stop. They wanted to control hip-hop and rap because hip-hop and rap was the new jazz and new blues. What's special about jazz and blues? International fans and profits, more than rock and roll, which started from black people. Okay? I became a security guard because I was recruited by LAPD sergeants that set up a school because they could see the problem in their city with people being bodyguards, security guards, but were actually just guys from the hood. That was no accident. So LAPD officers set up the Ralston Bodyguard and Security Officer School. College. We learned everything. We had access to all the things that the LAPD did. They helped save a whole lot of lives. Stuff would have been so much worse if absolutely every single rapper, hip hop artist had the type of people that just hadn't been trained in how to de-escalate a problem instead of go to war. I'm going to leave you with this. Tupac did not want no competition. He wanted to be it. He did very good in his privileged school. He wasn't a thug. He wasn't a gangster. He was an actor. Reason why he put thug life on his chest because he really wasn't a thug. He knew he can get over. He knew what would sell. Didn't want no competition. Christopher Wallace knew rapping was a job. Performing arts was a job. Being a musician was a job. Do some good work. You got some great, happy customers. You get paid, you get rewarded. When people like Diddy was placed into a position of power and money, that was just to keep chaos going while the money keep flowing. That's original. You, my audience, you inspired that. They wanted to keep chaos going, but the money keep flowing. So, being true to morals and decency, look into the individuals that gave you those gems of knowledge. That's the key to not being a puppet by the gatekeepers or the people who empower the gatekeepers. This is what I'm all about. We have light switches now. We don't have to roam around in the dark. There's a method to this madness. We understand the method of madness, and then we can take the method of intelligence. I want to thank you. I enjoyed this, and I hope you continue to follow us on Thin in the Herd. Wednesdays live at 12 o'clock. Thank you very much. Have a good day, and remember, please support, morally support, hashtag East West Peace Movement. That hashtag again, hashtag East West Peace Movement. So history won't repeat itself. Thank you and good day.